Well, good morning and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show, 7:02 in the morning, and hope you're having a great start to your day. It is going to be dangerously hot over the next few days, so we want you to be extremely careful. If you have to work outside, make sure you have plenty of water, maybe 10 times the amount you normally have. Make sure your kids are heading out with you. You keep an eye on them, you keep an eye on the animals, check on the elderly, all the things we always tell you, but you've got to hydrate yourself. That's going to be the top story as we get into our news you can use. We'll go through that. We've got a handful of national and local news issues to tell you about, some sports news as well, and then we're going to give you a rundown of what the latest news is in the Olympics. Have you been watching since the opening ceremonies? We were in Cabo when the opening ceremonies took place. It was so fun to watch all of that. So I'm going to bring in Kelsey. She's one of my interns, and she and I are going to sit back and talk about the latest of the Olympics from the past 24 hours, some of the trending news, the entertainers that have been spotted, and I'd love for you to weigh in and tell us what you've enjoyed watching so far. And then we're going to talk some arts. You know, I'm a big fan of the St. Louis Art District. There is a Tennessee Williams Stl Festival. Maybe you've been in the past. I had never heard of this before, and that's why I always love to bring new things to you. If, like me, you had never been, well, we're going to talk with Carrie Hauk, who is behind the Tennessee Williams Festival, and then two of the actors. Have you ever seen Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? Well, maybe you'll get a chance to this time because we have tickets to give away to that, as well as another opportunity for you to go to Curtain Call for another performance. So we'll be giving you an opportunity for that coming up in our second half hour of today's show. Let's get right at it. Again, weather is the top story. So let's go to our weather forecast and give you this breakdown. We've got four problems, and it started really kind of yesterday with some of the heat starting to ramp up. Dangerous levels of heat and humidity. The heat index is actually the big story. Look at that, 103 to 112. In fact, it's more around the 110 to 112 heat index that we're going to see for our viewers in the Missouri and the Illinois area over the next several days. The heat index 110 with a slight chance of some storms that could pop up. Those pop storms we saw yesterday. 98 for your high today, 99 tomorrow, and 98 on Thursday. That's temperatures, folks. But the heat index, as you can see right above it, is the big story. As we get into Friday, it's still going to be 92 with a slight chance of rain. Saturday, 91. Sunday, 92. So that's still warm, but we're not going to see the heat index that we're talking about over the next 3 days. And then it stays in the 90s, as you can see on Monday. I know a lot of people are probably trying to hop into pools. Hopefully you have one of your own or someone that you know has one. Please make sure that you keep an eye on everyone because we had some issues over the weekend. Another person died on an area river and two other people were rescued from the waters. So please make sure if you are not a good swimmer that you have someone near you that is able to take care of you because, again, we don't want to hear any more of those things happening in our area rivers. All right, let's get into the news. We start off with some political news first from a local level and then into a national level. First of all, we are going to talk about Andrew Bailey, the Missouri Attorney General, leading a 7-state coalition in filing a lawsuit against the Biden administration's latest illegal student loan policy. His lawsuit targets what the federal government calls the SAVE plan, which in reality will cost Americans $470 billion. That's $45 billion more than its last unlawful student loan plan. And that lawsuit against President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris is being filed for refusing to turn over documents related to flying illegal immigrants to Missouri. He said, "We have reason to believe they are deliberately flying illegal aliens from the border into our cities." Well, former President Donald Trump is going to be sitting for a victim interview in the investigation into his attempted assassination. The FBI announced this on yesterday, actually, on a conference call. The FBI special agent in charge of the Pittsburgh field office did not say when the interview will take place, but said it will be a standard victim interview that they do for any other victim of crime. One spectator was killed, two were hurt in the shooting at a Trump rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July 13th. And some of the news that came out yesterday said that it was a good hour and a half, if not 2 hours before, where there were text messages going back and forth with police officers trying to alert the Secret Service about the shooter. So the investigation obviously continues in all of that. Now, the latest news on Vice President Kamala Harris with regards to her presidential campaign. As far as the amount of money that is coming in, Vice President Harris is moving full steam ahead in her bid for the White House, with her campaign saying Sunday that they raised more than $200 million in less than a week. She launched yesterday a $50 million ad blitz. The campaign said it would roll out that blitz, laying out her vision. As well, White Dudes for Harris, raising over $4 million in 3 hours. That is the latest group throwing money her way. And Harris, again, continuing to introduce herself to voters, highlighting her career and taking hits at former President Donald Trump. The two of them, by the way, will have their first debate head-to-head coming up in September. Well, we have the latest on registered nurses at SSM. They have been without a contract since June of last year, but there has been an agreement with the nurses. This is the nurses with St. Louis University Hospital, and they voted overwhelmingly in favor of ratifying a new 3-year contract, winning protections to improve patient safety and nurse retention. Again, the contract was a result of a year of negotiations and 2 strikes in 2023. All right, we've got a few recalls to tell you about, some of them incorporating vegetables, a vehicle, and something that you need to check your spice rack for. Let's start off with the vegetables. Jalapenos, as well as green peppers and green beans sold at Aldi, recalled for potential listeria contamination. According to the FDA, jalapenos, green peppers, and green bean products sold by Wires Farm and RS Handline may be potentially contaminated with listeria. The recall affects the following items: an 8-ounce bag of jalapenos, a 3-pack bag of green peppers, and a 16-ounce bag of green beans. If you have these, you're told to throw them away or return them to an Aldi store for a full refund. The vegetables, however, we're told were sold at some Aldi stores in Kentucky, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. And then check your spice rack for cinnamon, packed in 7 and 12-ounce plastic jars with a December 12th, 2026 expiration date. The recall follows analysis by New York State officials that found elevated levels of lead in the product. Consumers should stop using the cinnamon immediately and return it to the place of purchase for a full refund. And Tesla, they're actually recalling more than 1.8 million vehicles because of a hood issue that could increase the risk of a crash. Listen up, Tesla recalling some 2021 to 2024 Model 3, Model S, Model X, and then 2020 through 2024 Model Y vehicles because the hood latch assembly may fail to detach an unlatched hood after it has been open. And we're told that drivers and owners of those vehicles should be getting letters in the mail notifying them about this recall very soon. Well, we talked about this last week. My dear friend Tammy Holland lost her battle with cancer while I was in Cabo. And unfortunately, I did not find out this news until 7:30 last night. They had a visitation for her yesterday at City Hall. Rest in peace, my dear friend. I loved everything about your infectious personality and what you provided to St. Louis. It was just absolutely devastating to hear the news that she was taken at such a young age. But boy, did she leave a lasting impression. Again, that visitation was yesterday at City Hall. However, as you can see, at Union Memorial United Methodist Church on Belt Avenue, they will have the funeral services. The visitation 10 to 11 today, the funeral service from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and the burial at St. Peter's Cemetery. She was absolutely a legend in our entertainment field here in St. Louis. And I do want to let you know the Missouri Tax-Free Weekend is starting on Friday. That is for all of the shoppers that you can purchase certain items that are exempt from sales tax. Just want to throw this out for you to get ready for that. I know parents with kids are probably like, yeah, I know. I've been been waiting for this. Clothing, school supplies, and computers. So we'll let you know more about that as we head into the weekend. All right, some Cardinals news. First of all, they lost their game, unfortunately, last night. The final was 6-3. Same two teams tonight. Game time will be at 6:45. And they trade Tommy Edman in a 3-team deal that sends Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham to St. Louis. How about that? All right, everybody, it is 7:12. That's a wrap on the news you can use and your sports and weather news. We're going to talk a little Olympics. Have you been watching? If so, I'm looking forward to seeing what you've enjoyed so far and what maybe you're surprised by that are in the Olympics. That's going to be our talk over the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to talk about the arts, as I mentioned, the Tennessee Williams Stl Festival. And this is going to be in the Grand Arts District area. Before the show wraps up today, we're going to give away tickets to 2 separate performances that you'll get a chance to see. So Carrie Hawk, again, will be our guest. We also have 2 actors. It's actually a husband-wife team that's playing in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Carrie Eli and Peter Mayer. So they'll be our guest in the second half hour. First of all, Kelsey Oglesby will be joining me in the blue chair because we're going to talk some Olympics, and that's next.
I'm excited to announce my all-new mattress topper. In the times we're in, I wanted to bring you the best affordable mattress topper ever. So I took my 2 best technologies and combined them to make the ultimate mattress topper. And now you can get it for as low as $69.98. Queen size, only $99.98. It all starts with my famous MyPillow foam that provides you that overall full body support. Second is the individual comfort supports that give you an amazing custom sleep experience. It's like it's made specifically for you. The queen size alone has over 14,000 comfort supports. This is the perfect mattress topper to improve any bed. New bed, old bed, your guest beds. Get them for every bedroom in your house. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the all-new My Mattress Topper for as low as $69.98. Queen size, only $99.98. Don't delay. Order today.
You know, I was just talking about the importance of knowing how to swim. Make sure that your young kids and adults that you have swim lessons and that someone's always with you if you are unsure of your swimming capabilities. But boy, once you know how to swim, you will be in there like a fish every single day. These are our friends at Just Pools, pool and spa specialists, and they've been making dreams come true for decades. That's on the West Outer Road in Arnold. We've been showing you this over the last month and a half. Just absolutely gorgeous. That could be in your backyard. Why don't you make it happen? You deserve it. You've worked so hard for this. You know, it's not just the pools, but people love to add all of the fun ledges, the suntanning ledges, look at that water feature, the rocks, and you can do the whole oasis in your backyard. I know a lot of people during the pandemic, they really started working on having their own backyard oasis look just like that. In-ground, above-ground pools, the chemicals, make sure you keep the water sparkling clean. They've got 10% off chemicals right now. Just Pools, pool and spa specialist at 3987 West Outer Road South. That's in Arnold, and give them a call. Tell them that you love the fact that they support The Real Monica Adams Show. 636-464-7110. We love having them as a part of us. Welcome back. It is 7:15. Kelsey, I've introduced you to her a few times. She's one of my interns from SIUE, and I asked her yesterday, I said, hey, why don't you join me and let's talk about the Olympics? And she's like, okay, boy, did you do your work. I'm so proud of you, first of all.
Yes, I did a lot of researching last night.
You did. Now, you're a big fan of the Olympics, right?
I'm a pretty big fan. I like to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
What have you enjoyed so much?
Well, yesterday I just watched the USA Women's Rugby Sevens advance to the quarterfinal.
Okay.
So they did really well against Great Britain, and it's just crazy. Rugby is a crazy sport.
Can we talk about that? So we were watching the men's rugby when we were in Cabo, and we all collectively were like, first of all, we don't understand the rules. So I am a big sports fan, and I covered sports for 12 years, never covered anything with regards to the brutal aspect of that sport. And the girls that I was with actually were saying, how come they don't have helmets on? Why don't they have like pads and stuff? I mean, they're just in t-shirts, shorts, just like soccer.
I did see the next game. someone was wearing
One helmet.
Yeah.
But there was only one person.
And it's like really thin, and
Yes.
it just barely covers anything. So
It looks like a
I'm not
shower
really
cap.
sure. It does, yeah.
Well, yeah, so rugby, there we go. And we're talking about the stiff arm. You want to talk about this? What happened here?
Yeah, she just plows her over, and look at that. Yes.
So you've been talking about how
perfect.
popular she is on TikTok, right?
Yes, Ilana Meyer.
What is her name?
Ilana Meyer.
Alana Meyer. So how many of you are on TikTok, by the way? Because Kelsey's been mentioning that the Olympics are just nuts on TikTok right now,
Absolutely,
right?
yes. All types of Olympians from around the world are just getting crazy popular on TikTok right now.
Yeah, millions and millions of. So they have become
Tons of
the
views.
influencers.
Absolutely, yes.
So what have you enjoyed most? You said women's rugby. What else has stood out to you?
I always have loved watching gymnastics and
Yeah.
also swimming, any type of swimming. My family just watched synchronized diving, and that is super interesting as well.
Agreed. I was actually just getting ready to go to bed, and I saw that. I was like, what? I'm like, they're so in sync. It's just so
Yes,
beautiful.
yeah.
And what I've never understood, do you agree with me on this? I don't know how they get their bodies so tight right before they go in the water where there's just like this little
Teeny
baby
tiny
splash,
splash. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, how do you do that?
Yes, it's incredible.
All of you, by the way, that are watching, Kelsey Oglesby, we're going to do a little Olympic talk. Have you been watching since the opening ceremonies? What have you enjoyed most? I'm going to bring up your comments and any questions that you have for us or anything that stood out to you that maybe we don't get a chance to mention that you might give us an aha moment of, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. So you were just talking about swimming. And right before I went to bed, I shot a message to both you and our director, Zach. And I was like, I thought I remembered doing this. So you were watching swimming yesterday, and who won the
Yes.
bronze?
It was Ryan Murphy.
And Ryan Murphy and I sat down back in 2021 when we were getting ready to talk about the Olympic trials and Tokyo. So, yeah, he is so sweet, first of all. And here's the funny thing that came up in that interview that's kind of gross. But do you know about his puke bucket?
I don't
Have you ever heard
know.
about this?
No, I haven't.
He told us about this back in 2021 that he used to carry it around and he had so many nerves right before he would swim. He would throw up
Oh, wow.
and then he would swim. And he had
my
they literally
gosh.
had a bucket that said puke here. I mean, it's kind of disgusting.
That's crazy.
But his dad's like, get rid of that or we're
Sure,
not
yeah.
letting you swim anymore. And he finally was just like, I had to just get rid of my nerves.
Yeah.
But people who would actually perform against him would say, we knew when that would happen that you were going to beat all of us because you got rid of your nerves, you got rid of
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Just
yeah, right there. That was our
getting
interview.
rid of it and
when I was
do
with
your job, you know?
KSDK, that was the interview. And right there, he actually was talking about the importance of getting swim lessons
Yeah.
for your kids. So kind of ironic and timely. So yeah, congrats, by the way, to Ryan winning bronze.
And also, he's having a little girl.
Yes, and so what happened? How did he find that out?
So he had just won the bronze medal for the men's 100-meter backstroke yesterday. And looking up into the stands, his wife was holding a sign, and it said, "Ryan, it's a girl."
Oh, how cute is
So
that?
that's how he found out.
So he found out what they're having along with the rest of the world?
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
And he actually said that they both thought it was going to be a boy.
Oh, they did?
But
By the
they
way
were
she
very
was carrying?
surprised. Yes.
Oh. Well,
They were very
congratulations to
surprised.
Ryan and his wife.
Yes.
Obviously getting the bronze medal, but also for their new kid to come.
Mm-hmm.
Crystal said, I've really enjoyed watching water polo. It's insane, the endurance that they have. Yeah, the swimming, Stephanie says, the gymnastics, the volleyball. His wife was holding a sign. It was so cute. Yep, just like Kelsey had said. Olympics are wonderful, all of it. So impressed with it, especially the USA gymnastics.
Yes.
Julie Purcell said, I'm with Kelsey. I watch all of that. I watched the ladies volleyball yesterday. Linda says, also the ladies beach volleyball. Those two girls are an awesome duo. Can we talk about the uniforms?
The uniforms.
Of everything that seems to have changed. My
Yes.
husband brought this up, and he was talking about the swimming uniforms for the girls and the guys. It looks more like a singlet that they wear in wrestling.
Yes.
And you found an article that talked about the change in swimsuits, did you not?
So I did find basically the women still wear the full singlet. The men can only wear trunks now.
Yeah, why? And my husband's like, what the heck? They have like surfing trunks on.
Yes.
And this is not, I mean, it's very, very different from all of us that have obviously watched the Olympics for a long, long time. Have any of you been paying attention to that thing? I'm just trying to look at the things that have changed since we've watched the Olympics over the years.
Yes, and I also did a little research about why they weren't wearing like the giant logos for the countries.
Yes. What is that about?
And there wasn't really anything about it, but it's every country is just wearing. It's kind of like how they do the opening ceremony outfits, and it's one person or one company sponsors.
Okay.
So it's the same kind of deal with that. So it's just the sponsorship. It's not like huge, but that's what it is. And
But that's much more emblazoned on everything that they're wearing more than their country.
Oh, absolutely. And then their caps just have it on the side.
Yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't really any explanation for why it was mostly branding. But
Has anybody else found out? I mean, that's the thing that, according to my husband, he was very mad about that. He said, where is their country? Just, it should be right here. That should be the main thing that we're seeing. Instead, you're seeing much more branding, and you're seeing just a little bit of where they're from. Like, we were watching the swimming. Anybody else have a problem with that? Wearing those bikinis for beach volleyball, how do they keep them on? So that's what I wanted to know. Are they still wearing the little tiny ones, and they're like pulling their underwear, or not their underwear, their swimsuits out of their
Yes,
butts?
they are.
I feel bad for them. They get sand all over themselves too.
Yeah, of course. I couldn't stand it.
You told me something yesterday that I didn't know about. Talk to me about the pins that are being traded.
The pins. So the Olympic pin trading in the Olympic Village has been around for a long time, actually. But I had no idea until I think it was Tokyo Olympics. And on TikTok, everything was during COVID, like super blown up on TikTok about the pins. And I got interested in it because I was like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
So basically, it's been a long-standing tradition, and they call it the unofficial sport of the Olympics.
Running around
trading pins from different countries. So each athlete has their country's pin, and they get that before the games start. And then they go around to other countries and just whoever's there, and they trade their pins. So you see if you can collect all that year's pins, because they change every single year.
And you said that there was a special one for Simone, right?
Yes, Simone Biles has her own special pin. So there's actually on TikTok, there's videos. Yes, so that's the New Zealand's women's rugby players right there. And their big goal was to find Simone Biles and get her pin, because you can only get her pin from her.
Oh, very cool. Look how excited she is.
Oh,
I challenge you to get Simone Biles' custom pin. So this is a thing, everybody.
It's a huge thing. And, it's not just for the athletes. Everybody can participate, too.
Oh.
So even, like, medical staff or spectators, anybody can share pins with people. They have their own,
If you're just tuning in, by the way, this is Kelsey Oglesby. Kelsey's part of my team, and we just started talking yesterday and said, let's have some fun with the Olympics. I would love to know, as you all are, joining us this morning, telling us what you've enjoyed. Debbie says, my niece is in Paris. Oh, how cool, as a spectator. Evidently, Simone loves emos. Oh, I remember that. We actually interviewed her years back, and she was talking about how much she loved Emo's Pizza. She has made a sign, Emos for Simone, with gift cards on it. Fingers crossed that Simone sees it. Yes, absolutely. She
should try to get the pin.
Yes. Diane said some of those uniforms are ugly. The female beach volleyball for the USA were uncomfortable. Yes. Linda says the USA flag on their uniforms are so small you can hardly tell what it is. I know, and that's why my husband's mad. When my daughter would compete, they glue them. Oh, they glue the suit, she says, and it hurts when she would take off her swimsuit and she broke out from it. How cool.
Oh, wow.
All these little inside tips. Diane says the pins equals fun. So cool. We did that at our fan club convention. I have lots of hockey pins. Cool. So that was something that I didn't know about. So we're giving you a little rundown of some of the Olympics. So where are we with regards to medals?
So for the medals, we have in total 20 medals.
Okay, and what's the breakdown of gold, silver, and bronze?
Gold, we have 3.
Come on, we got to get more gold.
I know. So let's see who has... Yes. So 3 gold medals for the USA, 8 silver medals, and 9 bronze medals. So 20 medals total. And we are in the 6th standing.
6, okay, I was just going to ask you.
Gold.
Who's high?
Japan is in first place.
Wow.
And they have 6 gold medals.
So for a while there, I was watching, and Australia seemed to be doing well. Where do they fall in the standings?
Australia?
Did they drop?
Let's see. They're in 4th.
They're in 4th, okay.
Yeah, but they're tied with France and the People's Republic of China.
And so who's in 2nd?
Second is France.
That's France. Okay.
Yes.
And so, again, we're in 6th place right now with regards to the standings.
Yes, we need to get some gold.
We need some golds. Now, one of the things that I really enjoyed was the excitement by watching the men's gymnastics and watching the guys on the pommel horses and doing the rings. That incredible upper body strength that they have just blows my mind. And how fast they're moving their bodies around on the pommel horses. Anybody else agree with this?
Yes.
Steven, were you watching him? He's the one that wears the glasses, right?
Yes.
He can barely see, but then he's out there and he throws his glasses back on. His parents were in the crowd just jumping. Did you all enjoy him? He was so cool. And Brody also.
Great story.
Yes, what a great story he has. But he didn't do the best in day one.
Yeah, so the qualifiers, he really struggled. Well, they all kind of struggled, but Brody was having a bad day. And then for teams, they really brought their A game for that.
And so they won medal, yes. Was it
bronze,
right?
Yes.
And it was the first time, I think, in 16 years.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations again to everybody that's won so far and doing fantastic for us. Let's see. We want to talk about fencing.
Fencing, yes.
So you said Lee Kiefer, or is it Kiefer? Kiefer?
I think it's Kiefer. She won for women's foil individual for fencing.
Yeah, and she won gold.
Yes, and she beat another American.
And then Tori Husky?
Husky?
Is it Husky? See, anybody that knows for sure.
Yes.
Won.
She won for the 100-meter butterfly for swimming.
Way to go, Tori.
And she was fast. She was incredibly fast.
I watched that.
Yes.
And she was crying.
She was very emotional. I would be
rightfully
too.
so, exactly. Yeah. And then men's 4x100 meter freestyle relay team, they won for swimming.
Won for swimming.
Those are our golds that we have, right?
Yes, those are our golds.
Look at that. Woohoo!
Yes.
I was watching the swimming, and I'm like, first of all, their physiques. The body on Ryan Murphy, his shoulders, it looks like he has curtain rods. It's so massive. It's crazy. Terry just said, I was very impressed with the men's gymnastics. They all did outstanding. I really liked Frederick and all of his performances, especially the floor routine. Let's see. Julie says he had a smile all the time and always got the crowd going. That's about the men's gymnastics. And I agree with the men's gymnastics. Steve cracked me up. I know, I just love to see how excited they are. Terry says the pins are cool and sound like my younger years while playing soccer. We would trade soccer patches in tournaments with the other teams. I remember that. That's right. Let's see. Let's talk about the entertainment aspect. So Flavor Flav, if you all hadn't seen, he actually adopted the U.S. women's water polo team. Why did that happen?
It's a great story. So the oldest team member on Team USA for women's water polo, Maggie Steffens, she put an Instagram post out a while back, and it was basically saying, like, they're so incredibly grateful to have the team that they have, and they're so good, but there was a catch. Most of the players had 2 to 3 jobs to pay for travel expenses and any other expenses to get to the Olympics because they didn't have any sponsors. And water polo isn't you have soccer, you have swimming and gymnastics, but water polo is not a very
hyped up, right? It didn't get a lot of notoriety.
There's not a lot of press about it.
Right.
So Flavor Flav was shown this Instagram post, and he basically was like, okay, I got you guys. No problem.
And look at him right there. He's like, I'll be your biggest hype man ever.
He put out a statement and said, when I come out and I watch this water polo team, USA, yo, I'm going to be the biggest hype man that they ever had in their life. So, and he's doing it.
He went on to say, I'm going to be bigger than any cheerleader that they had in their lives.
Yes.
I'm going to cheer this team on, and I'm going to cheer this team into winning a gold medal. I love that.
Yes.
Go Flavor Flav. We were all talking about Snoop Dogg, but Flavor Flav needs to get just as much. Look at how cool is that?
And he's really doing what he said he was doing.
Massively
He is hyping them up.
Thank you so much, and I'm so glad that somebody showed him the Instagram article so that he could step up and show up big time. But let's talk about Snoop Dogg also. Snoop is just the coolest cat ever.
He is.
First of all, I can't wait to watch he is going to be on The Voice, if you hadn't heard.
I hadn't.
He's one of the judges.
Wow.
Snoop, Michael Bublé, Reba McEntire, and Gwen Stefani.
Incredible.
That's your lineup. And by the way, it starts, I think, September 23rd. But he was all over the opening ceremonies.
Yes. So Snoop Dogg has been all over. He is a special correspondent for the USA Olympics this year, and he's also providing commentary for the games. So he just did commentary on badminton yesterday. He did, and it was incredible.
It's a great rally right
Oh,
here
wait,
between
can we hear
China
some
and
of
the
this?
U.S. right here. As you see it, don't stop to the casket drop. They rocking and rolling, back and forth. Give me that. No, I need that. No, over here. No, over there. What about over there? No, what about there? No, give me that. I need
He's
that.
so colorful.
No,
He
sit down,
is.
Snoop. Get out. Get out. Wait a minute.
That's
Hold it.
bad
Way
written, by
up
the
in
way. We're
sky.
talking again
Now down.
about
Back up.
Snoop Dogg.
Over
He
there.
was also the
Now,
torchbearer for the opening ceremony. Tons and tons of videos of him all over and will continue to be all over.
Yes.
He's just the coolest person I think that's ever walked. And I love the relationship, by the way, that he and Martha Stewart have. I mean,
Yes.
people are like,
Besties.
you wouldn't think the two of them would be best friends, but they are. Okay, let's talk before we have to wrap this up. And anything else you want to comment about the Olympics, continue to do so. But I was talking about new sports and some that I don't know that I am going to have to do this to. Is it really a sport? Breakdancing? Come on, now this
It's
comes.
called breaking.
It's called right there. It's called
Officially.
breaking. But here's the deal. I grew up in the era where breakdancing was a thing. So this started back in the 70s, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, it was. In New York City in the 70s,
yes.
according to the official Olympics website. That's the history of breaking. And we all did it. We wore parachute pants, Kelsey. I mean, we got to find some videos of me doing the backspin. And all. There we go. They spin on their heads. I'm not saying that it's easy. It's not.
Of
but
course, yeah.
is it a sport? Folks, come on.
I mean, I don't know. It's definitely athletic. It's
I'll
definitely
tell you what, I
athletic.
will watch, and I'm excited to see the women. Okay, so back in the 90s, international competitions and the sport was featured at the 2018 Youth Olympic Games in Argentina. And then during the 24 Olympic Games, if you want to watch this along with me, breaking will take place on August 9th and 10th. The female breakers will compete on the first day and the male breakers on the second day.
Yes.
And it'll just continue like a round robin phase. What are some of the other new sports that we're seeing this year?
Well, so they're not new to the Olympics anymore. They're relatively new. But skateboarding, surfing, sport climbing, and karate, they were added to the Tokyo Games.
Okay.
And so they will be returning for this, except for karate. It got kicked out, as well as softball and baseball. They also will not be returning, even though softball and baseball, they had been in the games up until I think 2008, and then they brought them back for Tokyo, but there wasn't enough
Somebody
to
just,
bring them back
who
yet
just said I
again.
was a breaker. Oh my God, I was a
Oh.
big break dancer.
Nice.
Okay, but I just, there's so many things coming. My husband gets so mad because he's like, the origination of the Olympics is Greco-Roman wrestling, and they took that out and they've never put that back in. So
Yes.
why would we not go back to that? And then we're starting to add all these things. I don't know. Skateboarding, very cool. Did that when I was younger. Didn't think it was a
Yes.
sport. Surfing, they can't even have them as a part of the Paris Olympics. They're in
No, they're
Tahiti.
in Tahiti. Yes.
Which we were talking about the beds. They have cardboard beds they're sleeping on in Paris.
Yes.
But it's very posh, and the people in Tahiti, they were showing
They're
their
on a cruise
mattresses, right?
ship, yeah.
Exactly. That's not fair. All right, before we wrap up, let's talk about celebrity because we're going to get into the arts, and we'll talk about that in our final part of our show. Celebrity sightings. Who have you enjoyed seeing the most?
So, first off, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, they're making an appearance for their new film coming out, Wicked,
Wicked. I can't
which
wait
I'm
to
excited
see Wicked.
to see. Yes.
Kelly Clarkson, by the way, looked stunning. She was one of the
did.
commentators,
Yes.
along with Peyton Manning, for the opening ceremonies. But yeah, Ariana Grande, can't wait to see them in Wicked, which is coming out Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yes,
right?
Thanksgiving.
Can't wait to see that. I was geeking out about Tom Cruise being there.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is all over social media, and he is taking pictures with everybody. They say he's super, super sweet.
Yes.
All right, who else was there?
Let's see. Michelle Yeoh, Cindy Crawford, Tony Hawk, of course, for
Skateboarding.
skateboarding, John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, and then Shaun White and Nina Dobrev. So Shaun White, he's normally for Winter Olympics, but he showed out for the Summer Olympics this
I
year.
love him. He's so
And
talented.
You said Kelly Clarkson,
Yep.
and then also Mick Jagger was
Oh,
there.
Mick Jagger's been there. How cool is that? Lady Gaga,
Lady
of
Gaga,
course.
she-
She did the opening ceremony.
Yes,
Did you see it?
I did. It was incredible.
Look at that.
Yes, gorgeous.
And then let's talk about, because I was literally crying like a baby. Before we wrap up this Olympic segment, did you watch the opening ceremonies?
I did.
Did you see Celine Dion?
Celine.
If you've seen the documentary, I Am Celine, you will understand. I don't want to give it away if you haven't seen it yet, but if you have, you understand what I'm saying. Never, ever, ever did we expect that to happen. But when we were trying to figure out, wonder who's going to carry the torch, I wonder who's going to be the person to light it. And I came back and I looked at the girls and I thought, do you think Celine's going to show up? And boom, there she is on our screen.
There she is. And
She's so amazing. That was, to me, that
Incredible.
was the highlight. Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Somebody said Celine brought tears to my eyes. Linda, I agree with you. I was just bawling like a baby. And then the last thing, Beyonce. You were
Beyonce.
super impressed with this.
Yes, I seen it, and I was just like, wow, they just killed that immediately. Like, that really was like USA.
Not seen that. Well, Kelsey, you've done a great job, and I'm so glad that you've been watching. And all of you, don't stop, because we need all the support for our Olympics, and put it out there on all your social medias, because they're all watching it. Obviously, these big million influencers all over TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. They're loving to see your support for them. I'm excited, and I can't wait for the closing ceremonies
And we
to
need
see
more
it all.
gold.
Yes, we need more gold. USA, USA, USA. Kelsey, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the arts, and we've got tickets to give away to you, by the way. Have you ever heard of the Tennessee Williams Stl Festival? I had not. We've got 3 guests that we're going to have on in our next 20 minutes. First, Carrie Hawk, the festival's executive and artistic director, and then we're going to talk to a husband-wife team who's actually playing husband-wife in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Carrie, Eli, and Peter Mayer, all my guests in the blue chair when we return.
She's a special woman and done so much for St. Louis.
Watching her work is one of the most incredible things you can see.
She just sees value in everyone.
Sometimes people just need you to sit with them and hear them. I feel heard.
The time flew by, and it was like sitting and talking to a friend.
Not only creating a better place here in St. Louis, but to inspire others. It's always great to have examples like you.
You have such a light and such a presence, and I could feel it this morning.
We knew right away when you started this, we wanted to be on your show. Thanks for having us.
I look forward to seeing how you rock and roll and shake it up.
He wants to say, I can't believe I took your son's life. I don't know what I was thinking. I have so much regret and remorse. I've changed my life. Would you accept that apology?
I've never thought of that. Yeah, I would.
Do you think, because you talk about forgiveness, do you think that you all can ever forgive one another and come back together?
It wasn't just right. I'm not perfect. Just because my name is Bush, I don't have it all figured out. And I think they know that too.
I was cyclically depressed, so I could be the happiest person you ever met at 11 a.m. I could be on cloud 9, and by 7 p.m. that evening, I'd be sitting on a couch with a gun in my hand and thinking hard not to get emotional. I
never feel sorry for being emotional.
I really, I was at a space to where I couldn't believe that I had brought my children into this.
Where's the light? Because many of you probably feel that there's this darkness and there's this thunder cloud that's constantly over you. This family has dealt with so much.
Our journey is our journey. There has to be purpose in this pain. There has to be something more powerful. I have to find something to be blessed about every day. I have to count my blessings and have gratitude every single day.
Very powerful. All the interviews that we've had over the last year and a half since we launched the talk show, it's been beautiful for people to be sitting in these chairs and telling their life stories. Some heartbreaking stories, as you just heard, as well as empowering stories, inspirational stories, and then spotlight features on incredible human beings. You know I love the arts. I always talk about going to the Fox, going to the Muni, going to Stages St. Louis, going to Opera Theater of St. Louis. So many things. The Grand Art District is an area that we should be so very proud of, in the steep, rich history of what we have been able to see over 100 years. We're going to talk a little bit about that. Have you ever heard, I had not, of the Tennessee Williams Stl Festival? There it is on your screen, Tennessee Williams Festival St. Louis. We're going to be giving tickets away, by the way, to Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Life Upon the Wicked Stage. We'll talk about all of this, but first, let's talk about the history of it. For those of us that had not ever seen this is actually, you just saw on the screen, the 9th annual. This is Carrie Hauk, the festival's executive and artistic director. Thanks for coming in.
So happy to be here, Monica. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So she was just telling me at the break that we have something in common. So I did traffic along with obviously news anchoring and sports and all that in my 30-year career. But you used to do traffic?
I did for 1 year at Magic 108 FM.
Oh, cool. Well, we were
long
talking
time ago.
So that was, you said, in the 80s?
1980, I believe.
How fun is that, right?
I
Small
wasn't very
worlds.
good at it, Monica. You were a lot better. I can't drive very well, so.
Well, you grew up here, but then
did.
you've been away.
I had moved to New York right after I went to the conservatory at Webster University, then Webster College. Moved to New York for a number of years, in Los Angeles for a number of years. Came back for that year. Moved to Chicago, and then came back to St. Louis to raise my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Then moved back to Chicago for a while, and now I'm here, and I started the Tennessee Williams Festival.
Right. So 9 years ago?
Yes, 9 years ago. It's disheartening to think that you
I had never heard of it, but I'm glad.
But now you know.
So Marla Ballinger, who's a dear, dear friend of mine, she had reached out to me and said, hey, could you by chance put this on your show? And I said, I would love to, but how do I not know about this?
How do you
I
not
don't
know about
know.
it? Well, we do top-notch theater. Really, commitment to excellence is really important to us, to honor the legacy and the beautiful cultural importance of Tennessee Williams, who spent 20 years in St. Louis as a child and a young man. And I consider him America's greatest playwright. And because, sadly, he's not taught in the schools anymore. He used to be. I mean, theater really isn't
Is
much.
not exactly. They're pulling that out.
Exactly. So I started the festival to continue his legacy. There are Tennessee Williams festivals in Provincetown, New Orleans, Columbus, Mississippi, Clarksdale, Mississippi, but we didn't have one here. So I produced one show in 2014 that was just going to be one and done, and it did really well.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, and it was a play called Stairs to the Roof that really was based in St. Louis. It was one of his unknown plays, but everyone said we want to see the big title.
Sure.
So we've done Streetcar Named Desire,
Oh,
Glass
love that.
Menagerie. We were featured in the New York Times when we did Glass Menagerie.
Congrats.
It was during the pandemic. Actors Equity did not allow us to perform inside.
Yeah.
So we did it off the back of the building where the Williams lived in the Central West End, where the fire escape is, where the lead character, delivers his famous
Sure.
speeches, and sold out. We saw a lot of, there we go. We attracted a lot of theater goers who had never been to the theater. They're now theater goers from the neighborhood. It was a beautiful
Carrie,
thing.
we've mentioned so many times on this show, and that's really all it takes is an introduction to the
Yeah.
arts. And we should be doing that with kids that are younger and younger and younger. Just introduce them.
I know.
Don't force the arts on them. Let them find the love on their own.
Exactly. In fact, we have a program called the Play Reading Initiative, which we've had since year one, where we offer scripts to schools that don't have arts programs to read the play that we're producing. We give them free tickets, we give a talk back, and we do workshops in the schools.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, to get them interested. And half the time, I mean, the thank you notes they write, I mean, we really are enriching their lives.
Absolutely.
And, creating new theater goers.
If you're just tuning in, again, Carrie Houck is my guest. We're talking about the Tennessee Williams Festival, St. Louis, the 9th annual, and an opportunity, by the way, for you to get some tickets to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. We're going to be talking with the husband-wife team who play husband-wife in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Carrie Eli and Peter Mayer. They're going to be coming in here shortly. But what are you most proud of since you launched this 9 years ago?
Well, actually a lot, but I love the fact that we're keeping artists working.
Sure.
And we continued to, even during the pandemic. One of the first year of the pandemic, we produced radio plays. I didn't want to just shut down. And we employed designers, actors, support crew, and also just, when the show opens, the thrill of that, when you've made an audience happy.
Right.
I don't think anyone's ever disappointed by our work. I really don't. I stand by it 100%.
Well, obviously you're getting press in the New York area.
Yeah, we had the full page of the arts section of the New York Times, which was quite...
You just mentioned about being able to keep people in the arts and, teach at a young age and get them excited about it. One of the things that I love is to look at the history that we have of amazing actors and actresses and performers in our area. So when you're doing the festival, are you using all local, or is it a mixture of local and other?
It's a mixture, but this year, and we have a large cast in both plays. Everyone is local except for Maggie the cat, but Kaya has a St. Louis connection.
That's what I thought.
Kaya McKiernan, she's
been at stages, hasn't she? I thought she had performed at stages.
She maybe has, but I knew her from the conservatory at Webster.
Okay.
I taught at Webster for 20 years, and that's when I was introduced to Kaya. And she's worked with St. Louis Shakespeare Festival and has had quite a career since she graduated. She was on an series with Kate
Winslet,
thank you. Mayor of
HBO's Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah, and she had
the Academy Award winner.
Yeah, she had a substantial role, and I'll never forget watching it. It's like, oh my gosh, there's Kaya.
Yeah.
But she's in demand. And when I knew we were doing Cat, I knew that I wanted Kaya to play Maggie. And a former professor said, well, that's a great idea, but she's in such demand, you're never going to get her. Well, I called her.
And you're like,
yeah,
I got her. I got you, girl. Yeah, she's actually seen starring in the feature film Perpetrator opposite Alicia Silverstone. And some of her other credits include a series regular role. Maybe you saw her in Amazon's Night Sky opposite Academy Award-winning actors Sissy Spacek and J.K. Simmons. We just mentioned about HBO's Mayor of Easttown. And then the independent feature, The Adults, seen as Carrie said on stage at the St. Louis Shakespeare Festival, Victory Gardens, and American Theater Company's youth ensemble in Chicago. She is a graduate again of Webster University. Kaya, we were trying to get on the show, but I know she's busy with getting ready for this. Yeah. And your director, Michael, as well.
Michael Wilson is someone I've wanted to work with my whole career. And he's a known Williams interpreter of his work, and also Horton Foote, and has gotten many accolades for that. And I met him accidentally at the Provincetown Williams Festival. We were both staying in the same famous lodging called Captain Jack's Wharf, where Williams used to stay and wrote some of his famous plays. And I met Michael accidentally there, and we connected, and he brought a one-man show here in 2019 with Brian Batt of Mad Men fame called Dear Mr. Williams, and we, continued the relationship, the friendship, and the, we both hoped to work together one day, and here we are. We have him here, and it's marvelous watching him, bring this beautiful play to life. My audience has wanted Cat on a Hot Tin Roof since day one.
Okay.
But I did not want to produce it until I knew we were really ready, because it's epic. I mean, it really is.
And so let's talk about this for everyone that's tuning in saying, wait a minute, okay, I haven't been to this festival. Where can I see these incredible performances? It's actually, there's two different things that we're going to talk about. So Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, there you go, directed by Michael Wilson. That starts on August 8th. Through the 18th, and it's the Grandel Theater. If you've never been there, on Grandel Square in Grand Center, we just talk about just the history of that area.
Well, and we're focusing on the history of the area. That was our theatrical home prior to the pandemic. And I've got to tell you, it's good to be back. This is our first year back there. And it felt like coming home when we went in to show the designers the space, et cetera. And I decided to honor the neighborhood. It was a big theater district in the days when Williams lived here, and he writes about it and refers to it. And 3 of our one-act plays, we believe he had Grand Center, the Grand Avenue Theater District is what it was then,
Right.
in mind when he wrote these plays. So, our sub-theme is Grand Center then and now.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the 3 one-acts.
Yes.
That have a Grand Center flavor only during vaudeville times. The lead character, we see her trajectory through life at different stages of her life as an actress.
Okay.
And she's touring and in St. Louis. And there are a few references to St. Louis in the plays. And I decided to intersperse music because she's a vaudeville performer.
Mm-hmm.
So we've laced it with that. In between the plays.
Now that's Life Upon the Wicked Stage. And that's going to be at Curtain Call.
That's at the Curtain Call Lounge, which is next to the Fox Theater.
Which, by the way, if you've never been there,
Adorable.
it is a super cool place.
Yeah.
That is where my husband and I go every time before we go to dinner. We love that. In fact, you better get there at 5 o'clock when they open or you're not going to get a table.
Well, it's really a throwback sort of nightclub cabaret
It's awesome.
space. It's awesome. And it really, the little stage suits itself to our one-acts and our song and dance pieces. Tom Clear is our musical director, for those of you who are familiar with Tom. He's a musical genius. Brian Holfeld, a former St. Louisan who now lives in L.A., is our director. He's worked with us many times.
And we've got it there on the screen, by the way. That's going to be August 10th through the 18th.
Yeah, we're doing weekend matinees, 2 shows a day on the 2 weekends of the festival. So you can come in the morning, go to the scholars panels, which are going to be focusing both on Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and Grand Center then and now.
Okay.
Go to see a matinee of Life Upon the Wicked Stage. Go have some dinner, and then come see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. We're doing an early curtain for Cat, 7 o'clock. I think people like that now.
Yes. Well, first of all, it's just trying to get in, get your parking, see a show, and not be down in the area so late into the evening.
Correct. And we have good news about parking, Monica.
What?
Well, Life Upon the Wicked Stage at the Curtain Call Lounge gets free parking in the Fox Club parking lot.
Oh, really?
Which is on the north side of the Fox.
Right.
And you enter from Washington Avenue.
Yes.
Now, across the street from that is a garage where we're offering free parking for all of our, not free, all of our other events for $5.
$5. Well, that's very
You just
inexpensive
say
because
you're
it's
there.
normally, I think, we pay $20 when you're for a Fox.
So it's a real bargain.
Look at this.
Yeah,
See?
and it's secure parking.
This is a great opportunity. I just mentioned earlier about introducing kids at a young age. So bring the family to this.
Yeah, and especially Life Upon the Wicked
Yeah.
Stage, I think, will be most entertaining for younger kids. I'd say middle school and up for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're going to be giving away tickets, by the way. We are talking about Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and then the 3 one-act plays, Life Upon the Wicked Stage. So again, it will be at Curtain Call, the Life Upon the Wicked Stage, and then we talked about the Grandel area. If you've not been to the Grand Center in a long, long time, you are missing out. We want to talk to 2 of the actors, by the way, a husband-wife team. So Kaya is, again, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. She can be seen in this, and a lot of people might know her, so that might be the big draw for you. But we're going to be talking to the husband-wife team who are playing the husband-wife. This is Carrie Eli and then Peter Mayer. They're actually here with us, and they're in our final segment of our show. Carrie, thank you. I'm excited about this.
Thank you so much. And let's just drive everyone to the website
Yes.
if they didn't get it all, twstl.org.
There you go, twstl.org. And at the end of the show, we're going to give away tickets to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and then you're going to have to let us know if you want the 1 o'clock or the 4 o'clock performance of the 3 one-act plays, which is Life Upon the Wicked Stage. All right, stay tuned for that. That's coming up. Carrie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica.
We've got another Carrie and Peter coming in next. Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best ball. Wait.
The world needs to be more positive. You know, the world, and I'm spreading positivity with my air fresheners. So,
You and I both,
yes.
Sadly, I wasn't aware of the Monica Adams show until recently, and was I missing out?
I'm definitely going to turn this on in the mornings on our TV.
She's helping people to understand their value. She's helping women to transform their lives.
From the minute that we walked in, I felt just really comfortable and at home here.
You are always a ray of sunshine and positivity.
Thank you for what you do. I love this whole thing that you're doing.
It's good news. It's great news. It's uplifting and empowering.
But you were engaged, and I love that. So thank you so much.
Welcome back. It's been a fun, very packed show with a lot of news. Again, if you didn't hear in the very beginning, dangerous 3 days of heat. We're talking 98, 99 for actual temperatures, but heat index, are you ready for this? 110 to 112. And that, of course, can stir up some activity in our atmosphere that we could have some thunderstorms. So just be aware of that. Please be careful. If you do work outside, we can't say it enough, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. We did a little Olympic wrap-up for you from the opening ceremonies to where we are right now on the medal count. And then we're talking about the arts. We just had Carrie Hawk on. We're talking about Cat on a Hot Tin Roof and then Life Upon the Wicked Stage. Again, the 9th annual, how is this possible? How have I not gone to this? The 2021 festival, by the way, was featured in the New York Times. The festival, as you see, Tennessee Williams Festival, St. Louis, destination event attracting thousands to our area each summer for readings, panel discussions, concerts, exhibitions, and productions, 2 sets of educational programs, and it was named the Arts Startup of the Year Award by the Arts and Education Council at the 19 St. Louis Arts Awards, garnered 13 awards from the St. Louis Theater Circle, and recently nominated for Outstanding Performer in a Drama, Female, or Non-Binary Role for 2023's Suddenly Last Summer. And it was founded, as we told you, in 2015 by Carrie Hawk, the annual theatrical celebration of the artistry and influence of St. Louis native Tennessee Williams, widely considered to be America's greatest playwright. So we just talked to Carrie, but we've got another Carrie in studio with us, Carrie Eli and Peter Mayer. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Greatly appreciate it. So husband-wife team.
Yes.
And that play husband-wife.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about your backgrounds.
I'm born and raised here in St. Louis. I've been a professional actress my whole life.
Oh, fantastic. Since a very young age?
Or
when did you get into
when
it?
when I got out of school.
Out of school.
Yeah.
What brought you to the arts?
I like telling stories, and I felt like that was the best thing
Your
that I
best
was
avenues?
suited for.
Yeah.
Yeah. To tell a story, to create a character. I like delving into the life of the character and trying to make her real and somebody that, a character that people can connect with.
Absolutely.
And find all the layers and not just make a cartoon character.
Sure. And go away from the boundaries, right? Just push
Right.
those. And
Right.
Peter, how did you get into this?
Well, strangely enough, I went to law school.
Oh, did you? Well, see, I love the history of people.
St. Louis University Law School. I graduated. I got my license. But while I was there, I met the first wave of people that began what is now the Rep of St. Louis.
Okay.
And particularly 2 men, a man named J. Robert Dietz, Bob Dietz, and his partner Tom Hitchell. We became friends, and I told them that I had, when I was young, I'm growing up and I'm going back a long way, but in the 1950s, they started showing old movies, all in different cities around movies from the 30s and 40s. And every Saturday night, my aunt and I would watch an old movie. And it just became part of my life. I was fascinated by actors. I was fascinated by the stories. And in college, I had majored in Elizabethan literature, which is also what Bob Dietz had studied. And so we started doing readings, and he said, have you ever thought about being an actor? And I said, well, no, I have, but it sounds good to me. So they arranged for me to audition for the graduate acting program at Catholic University, where they came from, and that's where I wound up going, to Washington, D.C., and then I toured with the National Players for 2 years and became an actor.
See, and we've talked about this on the show in the past, Peter, about how your path in life will take all these twists and turns, and you might think you're going to become a lawyer, and God has another story for you. Like, nah, well, how about you do this? And he decided to follow that path. Well, we're talking about the iconic, and Carrie just mentioned that she didn't want to put this on until she felt it was really, really ready, and she had the right people. So, having said that, what does that mean to you? See, right there,
It's
right?
nice.
to wait until she felt like she had the right people in place from an actor standpoint, from a director standpoint. What are you most excited about for Cat on a Hot Tin Roof?
I'm excited that people will see this company of actors, because Carrie is right that everyone is suited to their role and brings the character to life. It's so exciting to watch Peter on stage with Brian Slayton, who's playing my son Brick. I can't take my eyes off of the two of them. It's so electric.
And you're looking right there on the screen of all the people that you'll be able to see. We just mentioned, obviously, Kaya, and she's getting a lot of press, but all of those very talented people on the screen. You're playing Big Mama.
Big Mama. I'm a tiny thing for Big Mama. Somebody asked me that, what's big about you? And I said, wait till you see Big Mama.
Oh.
In the writing and the character, the drama, the sparks between this family. If some of your viewers have seen the movie, here's what's different about the movie than a stage play.
Yeah, because somebody was writing earlier saying, wait a minute, I know the iconic movie. So where is the differences?
The difference, you see the entire cast on that stage.
Okay.
You see the relationship between everyone on the stage, not just a close-up of an actor.
Right.
It's a very different when you put when you take a play off the stage and put it onto the screen. There's so much you are missing.
Yes.
When you see all the characters together, that is the play.
Well, and for the people who have never been and watched anything on stage, you're missing out, because it's one thing to see something on the big screen. It's another thing to read a book, read a playwright, see a poem, all those things. That's why I love the art so much, because you see a twist that's done on it. And some people, my husband would go to different shows at the Fox, and sometimes it almost, I don't know if it doesn't play in your favor when you see an iconic film and then you know someone that plays that role so well that you're comparing, which I've told everyone, you can't do that. Everybody's
rough.
right? You can't do that.
But this is a cast that truly brings something very unique to each role. And Michael Wilson, our director, has brought out those elements from each actor.
Yeah, we were supposed to have Michael on today. I don't know what happened, but Michael, we wish you the best. We just mentioned you play Big Mama, you play Big Daddy, which again, they're a husband-wife team. But how exciting is it for you to first of all play this role and then to be opposite her?
It's enormously gratifying to be able to be on stage with Carrie, and we don't get the opportunity to do that. It's hard. We don't with regularity. We don't.
Right.
Although we have in the past several times, but it's an extraordinary experience. It's very difficult to adapt stage plays to film. It's often done, but there aren't many that have been completely successful. One or two that come to mind, I think Streetcar Named Desire.
Sure.
Famously with Marlon Brando, Kim Hunter. And then Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, the Edward Albee play, of course, famously with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. But one of the reasons I think they succeeded was because they were very faithful, as far as the set was concerned, to the stage play.
Sure.
When you open things up in a film, which film does, something is lost that you have when you see a production on stage that was written for the stage. And Tennessee Williams writes about intense personal relationships.
Absolutely.
And that's what you find in the production, in the stage production, that's really kind of missing from the film. When I was young and studying this seriously, a very, very smart, very experienced older director said something to me that I've never forgotten. He said, "I'm going to suggest something to you." this should be your goal as an actor. You should, every time you go out on that stage, you should say to yourself, I want as many audience members as possible to come out of the theater tonight saying that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and I now know something about the human experience, or I sense something about it, even if I can't quite put it into words, that I did not know 2.5 hours before this, and my life is enriched by it.
Well, right, and I think the greatest thing is when you move someone to whatever the emotion is. You bring tears out of someone, you give them chills, you give them an aha moment, they walk away, they might see how art plays out in their own lives. I mean, that's the fascinating thing that I love so much about the arts. And all of you, maybe you've never introduced yourself, and maybe this is your first time. I mean, what an amazing thing to start with, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, but being able to see it at a center maybe that you've never been to. If you've been to the Fox, great. If you've been to the Muni, great. If you've been to Stages St. Louis, Opera Theater of St. Louis, we could go on and on and on. We are very, very blessed with the arts in our area, right? We are so blessed. Yeah. But I mean, this is the district. This is the arts district. So how excited are you to play in the Grand Art District at the Grandel?
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I did another production at the Grandel. It's a beautiful theater.
It is.
And that element, you know, that is missing. It's just
Look at
beautiful.
it, yeah.
It's stunning.
The element that you don't get at the movies is the live
Yes.
interaction with a live audience.
Correct.
And that's what you get at the theater.
Amen.
It's wonderful to be inside.
Yeah, so we're looking at it, by the way, if
Yeah.
you've never been. Well, that and Curtain Call, which we showed you earlier. Curtain Call, again, is where the 3 one-act plays will be, Life Upon the Wicked Stage. So we're going to put that up on the screen for you so that you can get all this information. We're also going to give away some tickets to both of these performances. We're going to give you an opportunity to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, right there, directed by Michael Wilson, August 8th through the 18th, Grandel Theater. The Grand Square, by the way, Grand Center is at 3610 Grandel Square. 7 p.m. Thursday through Saturday, 3 p.m. on Sunday. And then Life Upon the Wicked Stage is at the Curtain Call. That's the lounge there right next to the Fox. And that'll be 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And that's August 10th through the 18th, again, directed by Brian Holfield. I'm excited about this. Oh, a show with song, dance, and seltzer down the pants. I love this. Okay, there's a couple things that we did. And before we take our break, I'm going to see just how well you have paid attention. So this will be an easy one if you really paid attention. Carrie Hawk, when she first came in, we said we had something in common. What was it that the two of us did in our careers that ties us together? The first person, and I do mean this, I'm going to keep an eye to the comments, very first person that can say what that was, we're going to give you the tickets to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And then the second is the home of Tennessee Williams. In what area in St. Louis? Which we mentioned, and we showed you the house, and we can actually show it again if Zach wants to pull that up. We mentioned that, and she actually was talking about during the pandemic that they couldn't perform inside, but they did right outside. There it is. Where is that located? Okay, that will allow you to get tickets to see Life Upon the Wicked Stage, and all you have to do is tell us whether you want the 1 p.m. or the 4 p.m. performances. I'm super excited, and I'm so glad that we had a chance to meet the two of you.
Oh, thank you so
much.
And look forward to seeing you. My husband and I love the art, so I'm going to make sure that we get a chance to see you perform.
Oh, please
Carrie
come.
just said, please come to this.
Please do.
And she was like, how in the heck have you not come to this? And how is it 9 years? That's what I'm trying. This is how you know life is just passing you by. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to see how quick you are. Oh, actually, it's, I believe, hold on. Let's see real quick. Oh, Victoria Babu, how are you? Victoria and I worked together in TV. Okay, I believe it's Dot. Dot, you are correct. You have the correct answer. So as we go into the break, I'm going to say congratulations to Dot. You're going to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Yes, she was a traffic reporter for Magic 108 at the time, and she already won tickets to one thing. So if you pay attention, Dot's right on the second one as well, but you can't have both tickets. So somebody else just type that in really quick, and we'll give those to you. Carrie, thank you so much. Peter, thank you so much.
Thank you for having
Quick
us.
break. We'll give away those, and we'll do our daily devotional right after this.
She's got
Welcome back once again. Congratulations to Dot. She's going to Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. That one again at the Grandel Square. She does have the answer to the other one, but she can't have both tickets. So somebody else just look at her response because she's correct and type that in really quick. First person who can type in where Tennessee Williams' home is, I will give you tickets to see Life Upon the Wicked Stage. You know, sometimes fear keeps you from doing the things that you want to do in life. These actors can tell us fear can take over and sometimes completely affect your performance. So it seemed only fitting that we give you freedom from that. 100 days to freedom from fear and anxiety. We're already on day 38 of these 100 days. And this one's called You Are Precious. What is the price of 2 sparrows? 1 copper coin. But not a single sparrow can fall to the ground without your Father knowing it. And the very hairs on your head are all numbered, so don't be afraid. You are more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. Where's that from? That's Matthew 10, verses 29 through 31. And we break this down a little bit for you. Depending on what you've experienced in your life, you may not realize your worth. You see it here all the time. My mantra when I left TV, know your value. It's the same mentality. Many things affect our own sense of self-worth, such as parenting, maybe experiences in childhood and beyond, and our thoughts about ourselves in relation to others. You know, you lose sight sometimes of the incredible truth of your value to God. You're loved. You were created by God. His purpose for your life is precious and irreplaceable. Our low self-worth can create anxiety when we're in relationships, causing us to disconnect when we feel maybe we don't measure up. We're afraid of being rejected, so we keep our distance. Maybe you isolate yourself. Yet you were created for relationship. God knows you, created you, loves you, and wants you to know that truth to the core of your being. Jesus spoke the words at the top of the page to his disciples as he was preparing them to go out in ministry. And these are words that he is actually speaking to you today. He wants you to know you're precious. You're created in love for God's glory. Begin to recognize your value, and you will begin to see the truth of who you really are. Brennan Manning said, "My trust in God flows out of the experience of his loving me day in and day out, whether the day is stormy or fair, whether I'm sick or in good health, whether I'm in a state of grace or disgrace. He comes to me where I live and loves me as I am." Today's prayer, Heavenly Father, thank you for your love and your care for me. Help me to recognize my value and my worth. May this truth bring me peace and security to do your will. If you're new to the show, we always wrap up with a little faith and try to give you some hope and devotion for you to go on throughout your day. If you're having a hard day and you're struggling, you can always upright that ship. So congratulations again to Dot going off to see Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. I hope you enjoy that. And Tennessee Williams' home? Yes, in the Central West End. Dot did say that correctly, and the first person to type it in after her, Gwen Gissing. Gwen, you're going to see Life Upon the Wicked Stage. How exciting. I want to thank all my guests today. First of all, Kelsey Oglesby, my intern, for doing our big Olympic wrap-up. And again, let's go USA. We need more gold medals. Thank you to Carrie Hawk. Thank you to Carrie Eli, as well as Peter Mayer. We are super excited for you to see all that is to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And to each and every one of you, thank you. I hope you have an absolutely beautiful day. And remember, if you want to be an actor, an actress, you want to be an artistic director, dream big. You want to be a lawyer and then switch to acting. It's whatever you want to do in life. Just keep following your path. But while you're doing it all, remember to be kind. God bless you all.